I'm sorry, did you pay attention to absolutely anything else that happened in the Matrix? I mean, I get that this doesn't take us all the way to complete artificial subservience, but we're not exactly making it hard for them, are we? We have enough of a problem controlling our use of technology and the internet today, when we still have to perform a physical task to access it. If we can watch cat videos at the dinner table without anybody noticing, what kind of an effect is that going to have on our ability to communicate and interact in the physical world? Internet addiction is a very real, a very fatal problem affecting a very large number of people today, and that's with two distinct dimensions separating the real and the virtual. If that wall is knocked down, we will see an entirely new wave of antisocial behaviour. Considering we're already well and truly on the path to ethical absolution, we may as well also consider the very essence of your humanity that you're throwing away as well. If a single bionic implant is supposedly going to yield so many advantages, then you don't need a heads-up display on your face to know you're not going to stop there. If information received from online is processed in the same way as knowledge that a human brain possesses, then there is no divide between what we actually know and the information that is just being summoned for us. If we eliminate the need to learn, then we lose the ability to grow. Okay, now you're paying too much attention to what happened in the Matrix. We're not being born embedded with this technology, otherwise we'd have to update it every time we grew. This would most likely be as serious, regulated, and considered as the major surgeries of today. Neurosurgery isn't as simple as a boob job. People aren't just going to pop over to Bali to get it done, and if they do, hopefully examples of botched brain surgery will resonate further than a few photos of bad Botox. This may be considered a commercial industry as far as how it's marketed or innovated upon, but, much like firearms, the purchase process will likely include waiting lists, background checks, and medical examinations to validate candidacy. As for how we grow, the act in and of itself is growth. Though it might seem slightly more invasive than many other leaps forward in humanity, it's no more intrusive than the effect that technology has had on society in recent years. It's just happening on a biological level. Humans have realized that our bodies are insufficient to complete the tasks that our brains have wanted to do since before we were even human. Neanderthals invented clothing because their bodies couldn't handle the shifting climates of travel. Early humans developed agriculture because our individual strength and energy output was unable to utilize the land in the most efficient way. We invented writing to pass on information longer than our earthly bodies would allow. And, most recently, we invented the internet to process and communicate that information with even a proficiency that our infinitely complex brains couldn't replicate. Ever since the birth of multicellular organisms over 3 billion years ago, arguably the most significant driving force for our progression forward, even more so than natural selection, has been increasing complexity. Its influence in our evolution has had a direct impact in every single quantum leap forward humanity has taken since the dawn of life on this planet. And this is just the next logical step. We have reached a point in humanity where our brains have the potential to evolve humanity faster than millennia of natural selection would allow, and we would be foolish not to see where that takes us. What if where it takes us is no longer human? Where do we draw the line between what is and isn't ethical in cybernetics before we put our entire conscious minds onto a computer? Or do we just continue to walk blindly towards digital oblivion? Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. And when it involves tampering with an evolutionary process that's lasted and been perfected over 4 billion years, it's no trivial matter. Even if you don't believe in God, it's still tampering with the laws of the universe, and they will be something that will be beyond the comprehension of our tiny human minds, no matter how enhanced we make them. Besides, there are plenty of other ways to make better use of the physical world we live in, and how we interact with it. While unfortunately my testimony won't have an effect on the self-serving nature of the human race, it would be nice to see the same amount of energy applied to enhancing the environment rather than ourselves, for once. Having finally reached the end of my debate, or more accurately, where it stands right now, you've probably guessed that there is currently no way of reaching a definitive answer. While it was clear to me by how much easier it was to write the argument in favour of the enhancement, what conclusion I might already be inclined to draw, the philosophy and ethics of this level of cybernetics is certainly a topic that is going to take another decade's thought. At least I got the time.